It was a quiet Wednesday morning at Rosewood General Hospital. The emergency room, often chaotic, had settled into a rare calm. Nurses chatted at the central desk, doctors made rounds, and the scent of antiseptic filled the air. At triage, Nurse Danielle Mercer adjusted her ID badge, sipping her coffee and scrolling through the new patient chart on her tablet. That's when he walked in. A tall black man, dressed in dark jeans and a gray Henley, stepped through the automatic doors with a limp in his stride and one hand pressing lightly against his side. He wasn't bleeding, but there was visible pain in his expression. He looked around, caught Nurse Mercer's eye, and approached the desk. "Good morning," he said calmly. "I think I need to get checked out. Took a fall this morning and something doesn't feel right in my ribs." Nurse Mercer didn't smile. In fact, she didn't even look up from her screen. "Name?" she asked, her tone clipped. "Isaiah Clark." "Do you have insurance?" "Yes, Proof?" Isaiah blinked at her rudeness, but pulled out his wallet. "It's here." She snatched the card and typed rapidly. Her eyes moved between the screen and him, with growing disapproval. "And what were you doing when you fell?" she asked, skepticism dripping from every syllable. "Getting out of my car," he replied. "Really?" she scoffed. "No. Altercation? No drugs involved?" Isaiah stared at her. "Excuse me?" "You'd be surprised," she said with a forced smirk. "We get all kinds here." "I'd like to see a doctor," he said, his voice steady but growing colder. "You'll have to wait," she said. "We're at capacity." Isaiah glanced at the waiting room. Two people sat quietly reading magazines. "It doesn't seem full." "I said you'll have to wait," she snapped, "unless you'd rather go somewhere else." Isaiah took a deep breath, nodded slowly, and stepped aside to sit down. Another nurse nearby, a younger woman named Clara, watched the exchange with uneasy eyes. She had seen Danielle behave coldly before, but this time something felt off, deliberate, personal. A few minutes later, Clara pulled Isaiah's file from the tray and scanned the information. Her eyes widened. She stood up quickly and approached him. "Mr. Clark," he looked up. "Yes?" She bent slightly, speaking softly. "I'm so sorry about the delay. Can you come with me, please?" Isaiah rose, clutching his side. As Clara led him into a room, she whispered, "I recognized your name. My sister's a nurse at Northside. She said you took over as director here last month?" Isaiah gave a tight smile. "I did. Today was supposed to be my day off." Clara's eyes widened. "She has no idea who you are." Isaiah shook his head. "Apparently not." 10 minutes later, X-rays confirmed 2 bruised ribs. Nothing serious, but enough to warrant treatment and rest. Clara helped him into a fresh gown and gently prepped him for care. As she stepped out to grab supplies, Isaiah asked, "Can you send Nurse Mercer in?" Clara hesitated. "Are you sure?" "I'd like to speak to her directly." When Danielle Mercer entered the room, her demeanor was casual, almost dismissive. "Well, let's get this over with. You'll probably be fine," she said, reaching for the chart. "But maybe next time try to avoid whatever situation led to this." Isaiah sat up straighter. "What do you mean by situation?" "You know," she said, half laughing. "Rough neighborhoods, fights, whatever it was. Don't act innocent." He locked eyes with her. "Nurse Mercer," he said, his voice calm but cutting. "I fell stepping out of my own car, in my own driveway, in a gated community, after a night reviewing hospital budgets and upcoming departmental needs." She blinked, confused. "Do you know who I am?" She frowned. "Isaiah Clark. Patient, no," he said, standing up. "I'm Dr. Isaiah Clark, newly appointed hospital director of Rosewood General." The color drained from her face. "You, what?" "I came in today to see how patient intake was handled when I'm not in a suit and tie. I didn't plan to get injured, but I'm glad I came in like this, because I saw how you treat people when you think they're beneath you." "Dr. Clark, there's been a misunderstanding." "No, there hasn't," he said. "You asked me if I was on drugs. You insinuated I caused my own injury. You told me to go somewhere else, even though the ER was practically empty. And I know this isn't the first time you've shown bias." She began stammering. "I didn't mean—" "Save it," he said. "You're suspended effective immediately pending an investigation. HR will follow up. Clara will oversee my discharge." He stepped past her, nodding to Claire in the hallway. "Let's finish this, please." As Nurse Mercer stood frozen, her eyes wide and face pale, Isaiah left the room, not just as a patient, but as a man who had exposed the rot hiding in plain sight. By the end of the week, a formal review of all patient interactions was underway. Danielle Mercer resigned before the investigation concluded, and Rosewood General began rebuilding its reputation, starting with the quiet leadership of a man who never raised his voice, but who made sure it was heard.